In Part 1, The Sleeper's Awakening. The morning began like any other for Jonathan Kane. He sipped his black coffee, the steam curling lazily in the chill of the Colorado mountain air. His cabin, perched on the edge of a pine forest, overlooked a quiet valley blanketed in mist. It was the perfect place to disappear, to forget the years he spent in shadowy corridors and smoke-filled rooms. The outside world rarely intruded here. He'd cut most ties when he retired 10 years ago, and the occasional visit to the nearest town, 20 miles away, was the extent of his interaction. But as he stepped outside to chop firewood, something on his front door stopped him, cold. Carved into the weathered oak was a single word: Pandora. Jonathan's heart froze. That name wasn't supposed to exist anymore. It had been erased from every file, every briefing room, and every memory. Pandora wasn't just a code name, it was a ghost, a project so secret that its very acknowledgement had been a risk. He ran his hand over the carving, tracing the jagged letters. It was fresh, the edges of the wood splintered and raw. Whoever left it wanted him to see it. Jonathan spun around, scanning the tree line. Nothing moved but the branches swaying in the breeze. Yet he felt the weight of unseen eyes watching, waiting. Inside the cabin, he retrieved a black case hidden beneath a loose floorboard. His hands worked on autopilot, opening the case to reveal an encrypted satellite phone and an old flash drive. The phone was a relic of his past, tied to a network that should have been decommissioned long ago. He powered it on, the screen glowing faintly as it searched for a signal. Seconds later, it rang. Jonathan Kane, a voice said, calm and measured. It was familiar, yet he couldn't place it. "Who is this?" Jonathan demanded. "A friend," the voice replied. "But I won't be for long if you don't listen carefully. Pandora is active." Jonathan's blood ran cold. "That's impossible. It was shut down, dismantled." "No," the voice said. "It was hidden, buried. But someone found it. They've reactivated the network." Jonathan gripped the phone tighter. "How did you find me?" "Because I used to be one of you," the voice said, "and because you're the only one left who knows how to stop it." The call ended abruptly, leaving Jonathan in silence. His mind raced. Pandora was a Cold War relic, an automated nuclear deterrent designed to retaliate even if the U.S. leadership was destroyed. It had been meant as the ultimate failsafe, but its implications were too dangerous. Jonathan had been part of the team that dismantled it, or so he thought. He plugged the flash drive into his old laptop, pulling up encrypted files he hadn't touched in years. Coordinates, schematics, protocols, they all flooded back. But one file stood out, an old surveillance photo of a man with sharp features and piercing eyes. The name beneath it made Jonathan's stomach drop. Dr. Elias Novik. Novik was the architect of Pandora, a brilliant but unhinged scientist who had vanished after the project's supposed termination. If Pandora was active, Novik might be behind it. Jonathan packed a go bag, his mind clicking back into gear. He retrieved a concealed pistol, extra ammunition, and a map. The coordinates in the file pointed to a remote facility in Eastern Europe, a place Jonathan hadn't thought about in decades. As he stepped outside, he noticed a trail of footprints leading away from his cabin, disappearing into the forest. Whoever had left the message was gone. For the first time in years, Jonathan Kane felt the familiar pull of duty. The quiet life he'd built was over. The world didn't know it yet, but it was standing on the brink, and he was the only one who could stop it.